the longest tongue in the world. Number 10. Nick Afanasiev. He claims to have one of the longest tongues in the United States, and he seems not to be wrong. It all started when Nick Afanasiev uploaded a video to YouTube where he openly showed the length of his large tongue. It caused so much amazement among netizens that it got millions of views and became an internet sensation. He was so popular he even made an appearance on Nickelodeon's famous teen show iCarly, where he showed off his main attribute, his 3.5-inch long tongue. It's so long that he can lick the tip of his nose and even his elbow. But that's not all, he can also send text messages with it. Yes, we're still talking about the tongue. And to think that you only used it to eat and taste your meals. You can't deny it. After getting on different TV shows and sets, the now actor fell in love with being in front of the cameras and has already appeared in independent films, commercials, and television pilots. He did take advantage of it. Number 9. Chanel Tapper. Holder of the Guinness World Record for the longest tongue in the world in 2012. It's time for Chanel Tapper, alias the Lizard Woman, for her incredible 3.83-inch long taste organ. She definitely lives up to her nickname and record, as her tongue is not only long but also as wide as the palm of her hand. Wow, you're measuring your hand size, aren't you? From the age of 8, Chanel realized that her tongue would make a big difference because of her size, and despite being very long, it's not a problem for her. Except it draws most people's attention, who are always amazed and confused when they see it. No wonder, some even believe her tongue isn't real. Number 8. Steven Taylor. His 3.85-inch long tongue was enough for Steven Taylor to be included in the Guinness World Records in 2019, and thanks to this, his life took an unexpected turn. His popularity has given him worldwide fame and important invitations to different TV shows and events. He even had the opportunity to meet Gene Simmons, leader of Kiss, who was surprised by the size of his elongated tongue, which seems to keep getting longer. And to think that it all happened thanks to the initiative of his ex-partner, who decided to email a picture of himself to a morning talk show, and Guinness officials immediately called him. You owe her one, Steven. But not everything in the garden is rosy, because doctors can't explain the reason for his large tongue, and although it doesn't bother Taylor, he's at risk of having obstructive sleep apnea. He must be very careful. Number 7. Michaela Wako Sato. She doesn't have any record to her credit, but without a doubt, she could break one. Or what do you think about the 3.89-inch long tongue of this popular Japanese YouTuber who was a member of the idol group Idling? Many consider her tongue the longest tongue in Japan. Its size speaks for itself, as well as her videos, because on her YouTube channel, she's been in charge of showing this particular trait. She performs a lot of tricks with it and even measures it for more than her 130,000 followers, who have already given more than 3 million views to one of her videos. Anything for the fans. Number 6. Nick Stoberl. When it comes to setting Guinness records, no one has been able to beat him because since 2015, at 3.97 inches long, Nick Stoberl is the absolute record holder for the world's longest tongue. It's so long it can reach common body parts such as the nose and eyes, but also others that seem almost impossible, such as each of his elbows. But if you're wondering what's wrong with all this, Stoeberl spends a lot of time washing his tongue every morning, and for him, it's a difficult task. I'm sorry, buddy. This great discovery was made by his father, because he was the first person to realize this great physical feature while encouraging his son to strike a pose as Gene Simmons, as he was a big fan of the bass player. I'd say Kiss definitely takes credit for this top 10 list. Number 5. Adrianne Lewis. Here I'll talk about family legacy. And the American Adrianne Lewis is the best descendant because her tongue is so long it surpasses that of her mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. She even managed to get her tongue size to appear in Ripley's Believe It or Not book in 2016. A well-deserved feat because her tongue reaches a length of 4 inches. It's really long. So much so that she can lick her nose, chin, elbow, and even her eye, but also she can roll and twist it and is practicing forming a clover just with her tongue. Definitely Adrianne Lewis knows no limits. So she set herself the challenge of getting her tongue even longer so that the Guinness World Records certifies her. Will she make it? Number 4. Praveen. An Indian representative has made it to our list. After having achieved recognition in the record book of his country, he wants to appear in the world records. Well, it'd be fair, because his tongue incredibly reaches a length of 4.25 inches. With this size, he significantly defeats the current winner of the title. However, Praveen hasn't been able to achieve his goal because he doesn't receive financial support, and, despite raising funds, he hopes to have cash assistance from his state government. On the other hand, this robotics student has already shown how skillful his tongue is, as he can touch his elbows, nose, and eye, and he's even practicing reaching his eyelids. As if that weren't enough, he can hide his entire tongue in his nasal cavity, which he jokingly calls the invisible tongue, and he can also use it as a brush to draw realistic pictures of public figures and write Tamil alphabets. But don't let that surprise you, because Praveen is also part of the 2020 Asian Book of Records for touching his nose with his tongue 219 times in 1 minute. Quite a record, man. Number 3. Heidi Hamilton. With a degree in television journalism, experience working as a reporter and producer for newscasts. Currently, she's a professional radio host and a very successful interviewer, as well as an animal rescue volunteer. However, she's mostly known for having one of the longest tongues in the world. This doesn't make her happy at all, though. But who could let a 4.3-inch long tongue pass? No one. That's why, for this unique trait, they're always asking her for pictures. Sorry, Heidi, I didn't mean to open up old wounds. Gerkary Bracho. We're talking about a real lingual contortionist. She can lick her elbow, eyes, nose, and even ears. You weren't expecting that, were ya? Gerkary Bracho is a young Venezuelan woman who lives in Florida and has become a YouTube personality. With only 3 videos, she has achieved 27 million views and more than 60,000 subscribers, in addition to 51,000 views on Instagram and more than 19,000 followers, who have been surprised by the ability of her amazing taste organ. Look how she compares her tongue with the size of these objects. Her content is as much awesome as her 4.38-inch long tongue. It seems unbeatable. With that length, she'd definitely be very close to breaking the Guinness World Record, and the young woman says that's her next goal. She deserves it. Bonus: Gene Simmons. Someone I couldn't forget to mention on this list. This is the leader and bassist of Kiss, Gene Simmons, who is a world reference when it comes to music, rock, or long tongues. Because, although the exact length of this vocalist's tongue is unknown, it's believed to be 5.31 inches long. This is something that created a giant stir among fans and haters, to the point that crazy theories were developed about how Simmons' tongue had reached that size. They said it was the result of a cow's tongue graft. Wait, are we all crazy? But although it seems impossible, there's someone that can easily defeat the demon. Let me introduce you to Number 1. Mikayla Saravia. Now it's time for the number 1 who is also a sensation on social networks. I'm talking about Mikayla Saravia, a 24-year-old American influencer who makes more than $100,000 a year just by posting videos of her huge tongue online. Believe it or not, because of this, she currently has more than 8.2 million followers on her main Instagram account and thousands of extra followers on her 2 additional accounts. And this is just the beginning of her lucrative career, because she has become quite a digital entrepreneur. One of her businesses is advertising, for which she receives from $900 to $3,000. Also, she has her own mobile app, where she offers products for sale such as shirts, chargers, and phone holders with a logo that represents her iconic tongue that has become her trademark. But that's not all, because she also has a photography studio and is dabbling in music production. As if that weren't enough, she monetizes all her content on YouTube, showing the dimensions of her famous speech organ. She has taken advantage of her 6.49-inch long tongue. She does look ahead. What about you? Do you know how long your tongue is? You're probably the next Guinness World Records star. If you enjoyed this extreme content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. But don't go yet, you may also like this. Just click here, here, or here.